at least like get the efficient like 8 power play potential.
Yeah, I think you absolutely run double berserkers with Rastaban. Play the good part of the kit. 2 dice for the berserker attack is pretty safe, pretty clean.
All
Yeah, and
right.
that's going to turn off a power zone and a double, right?
Okay, this is also being streamed to Twitch now.
Yeah, I chose my words carefully that time.
Yeah. Also, since this is now being hosted by Krengen, could someone else jump in and take over streaming to Discord?
Yep, I'm on it.
Thank you. Yeah,
Sounds good.
OBS is just complaining about the compression speeds.
No, it sounds like Discord voice is also complaining about them. You got crackly there.
Well, there we go.
Yep, go up, swing, hit the Fusilier, and then go back to the Courser for maximum dice.
Just a casual 2-5.
Yup. Interested in what this Stalker is doing? I guess we're securing the Bastion Lander? It's actually still not enough dice. Didn't see the coursers in range. Come on, go back. No.
Why? Why are you not killing the Courser? I was about to say Suspectum you know better, and then I realized this is Krengen. Still, though.
Well, this is a casual power up for 0.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
Suspectum just.
Fling Stalker into Crab. Swat Crab into Ape, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's exactly what you do. Not really sure what the point of the Stalker there is either.
I think it was thought he could get to the other zone and couldn't.
Ah, does Hurricaneous have a card in the mod yet?
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
So Suspectum just didn't pull it out for some reason. Unless it's in his
Probably built the
hand.
list.
Okay. No, it's not in his hand.
Might
I'll
have
be
built the
honest.
list before the card was legal.
Could be. I don't know about
Just
you all.
every possible act of disrespecting.
I always go up to the options and turn off the hands because it just bothers me when it tries to add things into it like that.
Is that 3 steps and 1 die for the attack, I guess? Is that what he's doing?
Probably.
It should be like 1 step.
Well, for Hurricaneus, it's 1 step and 1 die for the attack, right? 1 step for the
Yeah.
diagonal into the pockets, then it's 1 die for the brawl flang. It looks like because it's 3 steps to get up to being able to be within diagonal of the crab, right?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. So that's
Yep.
exactly what these are.
I just would put an extra white into each of these attacks, personally.
When you're trying to hit a 4, it's actually like worse odds than you think every time.
Yeah.
Ooh, the air superiority fling. Oh, filthy.
Well, you lose the boost on the second attack, right?
It's a fling, so no. He just punches.
Yeah, it's dice and play.
I hate that rule, by the way, every time. Hey, Jeremy.
Which
Hey.
rule?
Dice and play.
Oh. Is there only one game going on?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's also
This
the
is
last
The
game.
last one of them.
Oh, where's Boxy at?
Who knows?
We need our
Hiding
bearings.
like a coward.
Exactly.
So, what do you think the odds are that Kevin gets tunnel vision on demolition and forgets that he can just punch, or forgets that he can just swat?
No,
Nope.
it's
All
not.
right. All right. He's good.
The bigger problem is where do you hide?
I mean, I'll feed them Zybanos.
Even with the power for 0, like
He's got 4
it's not
dice
four-
and Tooth and Claw.
Yeah. That's kind of my point. Like, I don't like Zybanos going up there. He's just kind of in the breeze.
Yeah, this is like right now. This is Sylvanos goes to 2, pretty easy.
Yeah, like
Like, I'm not against your idea of like we'll feed him Zybanos, but you got to make it hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can't just have him chill in the Thunderdome.
He is in about as safe a position as he can be at the moment, right? In terms of just like buildings he goes into, right? It has to be single to double, not there's no double option immediately.
Why did he regain
Yeah,
three
that's almost
three
worked
reds?
though.
Why did he regain 3 reds?
Because he never rolled them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was probably deciding how badly he wanted this attack to hit,
Okay.
and decided very badly.
Yeah, like the problem is like Rastaban can just kind of like bury you in reds for like the first 3 turns.
Yeah.
Do we like body slam back to high rise throw to double, or is it?
Yep.
Is that? Yeah, okay.
And both doubles are identical. So good luck telling me which one you mean.
Oh man, that's into the same 3 buildings.
And yeah, he sees it. So, okay.
Yeah,
No, this is
yep.
right.
No, that's
Yeah,
right.
no,
Yeah,
that's
that's
bounce.
Oh yep. There we go.
Yeah, so this is slam into
I'm
the
just
high rise and throw into the shard and land
bad
it.
at spatial reasoning, which no one is surprised by if they've seen my play.
So you can only do this with 1 power dice, though, right?
Yeah, but you just throw a billion fucking whites and blues into it, right?
Well, yeah,
You
it's 7.
need you need 4, so you can throw in up to 2. But
Don't you need
yeah,
5 for either of them?
no,
No, if you're
No,
throwing
4.
if you're throwing to the right, you can throw 4.
I mean, this
Yeah,
is
5 to the
probably
left.
fine.
Does anyone know the odds on this? I feel like it's dicey, but it's probably not as dicey as I think it is.
So the first attack is safe. I say as
Oh,
it almost
really?
misses. Or does miss?
1, 2, 3,
Does
4,
miss.
5,
It's a
6,
It's a 7.
7. Wow, that's what were the odds on that one?
I
Well,
Pulling
that
it up
should
now.
have hit.
that was a 90. 89.9.
Wow.
Yep, people are missing 90s this event.
Well, I mean, we knew that, but still.
Oh, and Kevin kept dice to chain.
He should have
I
pushed.
hate that he's getting punished for this.
He should push. I mean, he can choose to push now.
Yeah, you hate that Kevin's
Oh.
getting rewarded for this play? is
Yeah,
what you're
no,
saying?
Kevin.
Yeah, yeah.
Kevin, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if he'd hit, which was reasonably likely, even the second attack was not unlikely, right? 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's slightly better than the 444, which is already an 85.
And like Zybano said too, like okay, you chained with your 3 dice, you're going like you got 3 and 7 to do something with.
I mean, the response would have just been Cassander to, would have been trying to put Cassander into the comms ray, and then the high-rise media, right?
Yeah, which is much riskier than the attacks that were taken the other way around, right?
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, 100%.
You can also just body slam into comms right downtown and then throw down to the media. So you're front loading.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
which is what you probably should have done. Although I guess we're not done the turn yet, right?
Not
Although
yet, no.
I don't know what this is. It's a
you want to just
gunshot.
step down one.
Brave shot on the something.
Hey, it could be strafe shot on the comms ray to clear out both of those buildings, right?
Well, and it was the comms array. You could get both of them. That's a 6.
You can strafe. That's actually incredibly clean.
But you don't do that. You do the other high rise, right? The
The
one
other
that you were going
high-rise.
to body slam Zybanos into.
So that you turn off all of the single to double options except for one, and that
Yeah.
one is like really iffy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Not what it did. It's not what I would have done on first pass either. So
Yeah.
can't blame him for that. At least not me personally.
It wasn't my first pass either, but I you take that extra couple seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, I stopped paying attention. Was there a strafe shot from a building into a building?
Yep.
It was.
Huh.
He missed the 9. I mean, when you miss a 90, right?
It really is a shame that Rastavan's hype is so. Ugh.
Oh, Rastaban did that. I was
Yeah.
I was sitting here and I thought Annie did for some reason, and I was like, what in the world is Kevin doing?
I mean, that's a fair
It,
question.
it wouldn't be like out of character necessarily, but I would just be like, what is the thought process here? Because I'm not in it. uh,
Let's go, Stalker Elite.
Oh my god, he didn't spawn it. Get that 1 in 3, baby.
why do I get the feeling that he's gonna like shoot Cass? I mean, there's nothing else to do, but there has to be something else to do.
No, this is gonna be those two Fusiliers, like
Stop the
shoot the
Berserker.
Oh,
Berserker.
I'm scared though.
Oh, okay. I thought he spawned that for like spotter on the Berserker, and I was like, really?
Pointer on the Berserker, let's do this. Oh, okay, sorry. This is a brawl with 3 blues from the Stalker and 1 blue from the Fusilier, purely because of team tactics. Oh no, he just brawled.
Yeah, no, it's just the Stalker Elite.
Yeah, I mean, why would you add anything else to that? That's like an 89 to hit.
Yeah, that's fair. And then I guess this is some sort of building action as the last thing.
We're gonna make an asset.
Probably another bunker, knowing Kevin.
I was like, please tack shift.
No, he's probably gonna put a bunker where the Berserker was.
But I would have laughed so hard if he tack shifted the Stalker Elite there instead. You're right.
That would just be like the ultimate BM, I think.
So we've got to find a way to like tech shift. We can tech shift Cass into the. No, that just puts him into a double, directly into a double. Never mind.
With what Mount Terra is? Oh, probably the one right behind Rastavan, huh?
Yeah, the one right behind Rastaman. I'm looking to see if there's any good places to tech shift, and the answer is no.
You just tech shift down 1.
Down 1 is the best, yeah.
Also,
Or you could just tech shift up, and then you just have to like block one side, right? Then like yeah, Kevin can do the ram play, but okay.
Yeah, if you can force him to only be able to do yeah, so if you can put a unit like on the corner on Cass's top right corner from our perspective, right after you tech shift, you're screened.
Yeah, you'd be screened on all 4 sides.
so one thing we also really need to do here before it ends up on a model that like actually makes it useful, we really need to find some way to make tech shift and tack shift sound slightly different, like more different than they do. Because right now the only reason it's not confusing is because tack shift is garbage and no one does it.
Games.
Percy, yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen it is used a lot on Percy.
it's not
That's
so
true,
much that
actually.
it's garbage, it's just that you need it on a stick rather than taking up a building.
Well, I mean, it was originally on a stick, just kind of the worst stick in the game.
Fair.
Very ugly stick.
You need it on a usable stick.
You all know that I'm definitely putting Titanica down first round of Gag too, right?
Wouldn't have it
I
any
mean-
other way.
Bold of you to assume that you'll be in
I mean,
Gag too.
first I have to see Flutterbomb's rules, but you know, to decide which agenda I'm doing. But
Flutterbomb can go in either agenda. She's not limited.
oh,
Yeah, Marin, it's kind of closed-minded to think that just because someone eats orphans for sustenance, that they're evil. Like, I expected
Actually,
you
those
to.
orphanages. That's where
I-
the supply of orphans comes from.
Yeah, I expected you to be a lot more open-minded than this.
I have truly been destroyed.
By facts and logic.
Alright, looks like he's got the die set aside for it at least. Unless that's for Berserker attack, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Although he doesn't have the units out to actually do the screen on top of it, does he? Bump spawn the crab, move whatever bump spawned unit down, tech shift, then advance the two crabs onto power zones. Or advance one of the crabs to
We have 2 Stalker elites on this board. I refuse to do any analysis. I know nothing about what's going on.
Brett, this is peak Monpoc. You may not like it, but
Boy, don't I.
ooh boy.
also next weekend when I like go out to run errands again, I'm gonna be prepared. I've probably got some like really sweet meme potential because there's a bank around here. The like it's not Illinois State Bank, but it's something close. And they just have this big ISB logo on all of their stuff.
Nice.
It like threw me off too. It doesn't even say what it is, but it's like this picture of a building and it just says like ISB next to it. And I was like, why is there an ATM that says the...
Why is there an ATM asking me to do a city planning action? I don't have any
Yeah.
lights with me at all.
It was like when you were watching Umbrella Academy and they kept referring to the infinite switchboard as the ISB. Especially when someone's like, I am authorized to operate the ISB. Like, God, I wish I was.
Hey, I left it for like 4 turns for you to take it.
Hey, let's just not talk about that game. I don't. Man, it was bad.
What happened yesterday?
So I just like had a stroke at the keyboard or something. Actually, that's not true. I had like a pretty rough start that could have come back, and then in one turn I spawned 2 Bellows that are on power zones, and I just didn't move them.
Oh.
And then Brett was just like, "Well, this is just free, so I can just like, you know, disrupt your entire power and throw you into a double." And I was like, "Cool." It might have only been a single, but
It was only a single. You'd position so I couldn't hit the double.
I didn't stroke out that hard, but yeah, and from there, well, that just kind of tilted me anyway, and I was like, wow, this game is pretty much over because I was kind of on the back foot anyway, and then just more of it. I did get a monster kill though. I started playing not to win but to get a monster kill, so
We had a conversation about the merits of continuing the game.
yeah.
Ooh. At least when I had that conversation, it was when I was about to propaganda Garrett so he couldn't get a monster turn before I killed him.
Yeah, I pointed out that like the only people who have gotten monster kills off me are already qualified. So Like my strength of schedule, like getting me in your strength of schedule is just pure value.
Yeah. I mean, getting me your strength of schedule kind of is too, but then I faced Boxy.
I mean, hey,
There's-
you're still 2-2. You're still doing
I
better.
am
You're
still
still doing more
doing
for my strength of schedule than someone I could name who also played today.
Hey, Rory. How are you doing? Yeah.
Twisted, I need to know, what are your cat's names?
Rory and
They're
Robin.
very cute.
The light gray one is Rory, the darker gray one is Robin.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How are you today? Look, you're the one meowing for attention. Mhm.
Man, I really hope I get to play Keto next round. Tech
You don't
can't,
get
right?
to play
Are
keto.
they?
Tech has to play keto.
They're in different brackets though, aren't they?
Nope.
No.
Oh, okay. That's acceptable. Tech gets first grabs, but if it's not Jeff, it needs to be me.
I'm gonna challenge Keto in first round of 9 anyway. So what I really want is Mung Mung to bring my narrative arc closer.
Fair enough, but wouldn't it be better to beat Keto while he's doing mono faction?
True.
Well, here's the thing: if Tech challenges Keto publicly enough before with submission,
Fair
Keto will
enough.
do it again.
They have curled up around each other and are now purring.
Good.
Too much cute.
Were they siblings, or did you get like a bonded pair or something? Or
No, they're
they just
siblings.
nice.
Yeah.
I need to get a picture of my parents' new dog has started like sleeping on top of the bigger dog, like how like a cat sleeps on a person.
Yeah. Yeah. Rory, what are you doing?
So this turn went exactly how we expected it to. Cool.
Yep,
Wouldn't have stopped watching kitties.
respectable.
Yeah, that was like the right call.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So Annie goes down to a 1 here, right?
Body slam to media, throw to double. Does that even work?
Yeah. Because you just like have Cass advance over there, do the body slam, and then just like step off line.
And Rasta steps in. Okay,
Yeah.
that works. I mean, I also wouldn't hate like throw Hurricaneous into the ISB, beat back her through either of the two Fusiliers or the Fusilier and the security bunker into the Bastion.
Oh, we're on pause right now anyway.
There we go. They just started.
Still haven't fixed Annie's health total though. Everyone seems to think she flies in alpha.
Which she fucking
She
should.
should.
Look, I'm not arguing about what should or shouldn't be on the card. I'm just saying what is.
Yeah, I know. When we were talking with Mimi earlier, that was the one thing she would change if she could only change one thing. There's a lot of things she would change if she could change everything, but if she was only allowed to change one thing, it would be flight and alpha.
So the thing is, cats can't get over there without taking a damage. I don't think that matters because the difference between 3 and 2 on cats is not huge. Right,
So
just
maybe
because
you
of
have
the way...
Rastaban start then.
Yeah, I think we have Rastaban start and cast as the finish.
Which makes the stepping easier at the end anyway.
Well, they are currently licking each other, which almost certainly means they're about to start fighting each other.
What was that? Because if that was a pounce, he doesn't have pounce and hyper. Was that?
I
That was
almost
just.
instinctively pressed enter, and I was like, wait, I'm not in the game.
It's just one more step. It was only 2 spaces, but.
This still isn't the line, though.
Not at all.
Though.
Wow, I never stopped streaming. Oops.
Kira's making an enemy for life right now. She's decided to cut Elvira's nails.
Uh-oh.
May the odds be ever in her favor.
Oh, this is way wrong.
Right, because, yeah, this is... Oh, what? I thought it was just going to be throw into the Harbinger for alignment.
Yeah. Well, this is thrown into the double, so Annie's going to 2.
Not enough reds, right? 1, 2, 3,
No,
4,
that's
5.
way more than enough red.
Oh, other double. My bad. Oh, yeah, so this is just one less... This is, like, a lot fewer steps for one less damage.
Yeah, and I mean, if you can hold it and do the 2 damage before
Really,
Kevin
like-
gets another monster turn, like you're still winning.
Yeah. The question is if Krengen can do the 2 damage before Kevin gets another monster turn.
Ooh, it's 5 doubles. Nice karma paid back in full.
He definitely can, right?
Well, he held for it anyway, so...
I mean, unless Kevin just spawns nothing but
Well, no, because like what we can do, like absolute worst, we can move cast up and beat back into cast.
himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or into Rastaban even, right? You just have Rastaban advance, have cast kind of pocket away and beat back into Rastaban because who cares about 1 damage?
Yeah. Either option works. Hurricaneous is very much just dead here.
Yeah.
And like, if we can get aligned for the power attack, good. right? Because that gives us the much better odds to hit with the extra boost and pen.
Yeah, it's fine. If we can't, we can't, right? We'll still be fine.
Yeah.
Wait, which one of them has pen on power?
Cassander. He has pen on power and hyper. Did you not know that?
No. Did... Have I not been playing that?
I feel like you have.
Yeah, I feel like I had to have, because that's there's the kind of things I would forget, and then there's the kind of stuff I wouldn't forget, which is any trigger on power. Like, if something has a blast trigger that isn't beatback, I probably don't know what it is, because I'm not doing it. But even if it's good, I'm not doing it. But
devastation.
You haven't been intimidating people?
okay, I have been intimidating people. I've been doing that a bunch. That's real fun.
Intimidate is great. I love Intimidate.
Being able to
I
spend
love
one
that I
white
found
to,
that.
like, desecure a double is just best.
So stupid. Yeah, I'll roll 1 and 3, and if I manage to hit the unit, whatever. But if I don't, it's still a desecured double. Fuck you.
And what's Kevin gonna score when he runs out of Fusiliers?
I mean, the Mystic that he's spawning right now.
Why is Kevin running a Mystic?
Kevin runs it so he can empower, and for the what you call it.
Kevin is not running it for Empower. Kevin is running it for Intensify.
Yeah, it's primarily Intensify.
Right.
Empower is a occasional bonus. Because I asked him about it when he and I fought a tournament or two ago.
We watched a game where someone else like empowered something, right?
I have blotted it from my memory if we did.
I'm like 90% sure someone empowered a Stalker Elite, which is funny because this list could have done it. I don't think he did. I hope he didn't, but
I distinctly remember us having that conversation of, wait, what's the range on Empower? And all of us going, it's unlimited range.
Yeah, that came up in Iron Wolf's game with me.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, hey, Nick.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
Hey, so when are those pairings happening?
Right after this game.
Excellent.
This last round's pairings are gonna be really weird because of the whole White Dijon situation cycling back in.
Yeah,
So,
and the fact that Tech can't pair into two of the other people in his bracket.
Yeah.
Is there a pair down or no?
It's gonna be a weird shifting around.
Wait, is there a pair down in the X and 1 bracket?
There shouldn't be in the X and 1s. It should only exist in the 2-2s.
There's 7 X1s, so there's a pair down.
Oh, no, there's 7, sorry, yeah.
Oh man, and that makes it even more confusing because I can't be the pair down.
Yeah, I have a list of who can't be.
And neither can Marin, right?
No,
Yeah.
again, I didn't actually get the pair down. I played Centipede this round.
Yeah, so the only people who can't pair up, pair down is Jeremy and In Cover. They're the only two who cannot pair up and pair down at all. It was supposed to be Marin and Genghis that couldn't, but that got flipped around. So that's right. One person go down to the 2-2, and then like, God, it's so weird with all the someone has to go down to the 0-4, which sucks because then the 1-3 is actually split fine. And then the 2-2s are split fine.
You could just give Crimson the bye.
Well, I mean, there's still an even number of players, though, right? So, like, it has to kind of, like...
Yeah, there's just a bunch of pair downs because Clay's back.
Oh, so we're pairing down from a 2-2 to a 1-3 and from a 1-3 to the 0-4.
Wait, did you say that someone gets paired down into the 0-4?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's an entire cycle down. So pretty much everyone shifts down. So there's a 3-1 to 2-2, 2-2, and a 1-3, 1-3, and 0-4. It's... Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's gross.
I don't know who the 0-4 is, but, like, man, how bad does that feel that you're, like, you haven't won a game and you gotta play against someone who's, like, 1 and 3.
1 and 3. Yeah,
It's Crimson.
it's
It's
Crimson.
Crimson.
Oh.
Granted, 2 of his losses were concessions, so I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fully expecting to be the pair up. It'll be annoying, but it's what I expect.
All right, let's see if Krengen sees the beat back into Rastaban play.
Yeah, because you can you even get to pocket cast in, right, where Zybanos is gonna have to take 4 damage to get to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just go behind. Well, you do have to do this
Fusilier.
weird thing. You do have to. Oh, yeah, the Fusilier. Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, you just
Well-
pocket in there, and Zybanos has to take 3 fire damage to come and get you.
Just one, because Kevin has Bastion Lander. You can just tack shift the Fusilier out of the way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fair
Well,
enough.
clearly what you
Yep.
do is you have
Lost
Rastim
him.
and walk up there, and then you strafe shot the Fusilier on the PowerPoint into the other one. Or
Whose
wait,
turn is it, by
that's
the
too
way?
far.
It is Krengen's turn.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Krengen's monster turn, I think. He hasn't powered up yet, so I don't know which version of the turn he's taking. The monster turn seems pretty free to me, though.
Yeah, I take the monster turn here, kill Hurricaneus before she gets a turn in hyper.
Do not grab this unit dice. Come on.
Do not grab those unit dice, dude.
I just
Power
thought this was a. I thought this was a Zybanos mirror match for a second. I had to do a double take.
Stop bringing over your unit dice. You're killing me.
But Hurricanes is not that big of a deal. It's fine.
Underperforming.
Not that scary. okay.
Underperforming. She's only guaranteed to win the event at this point. Underperforming.
Hey, this is a 1-2 bracket game.
Sure.
Yep, and there sure is one Hurricaneus in this bracket.
No, there's 2. There's because Chaos lost his game today, so he's 1-3.
Right.
You are thinking about this way too much. It's really easy. We need to talk to Krengen about beat back into self-tech.
Well, so if he can shift one thing.
Oh, he's going units.
I really hope he gets it anyway.
I mean, this has been the best Rastaban has ever looked, which is only because we haven't hit the 1v1 yet. Because he's generated 12 power dice off of single berserker every turn.
Can we
Jeez.
take a second to appreciate the poeticness of if Fusiliers shoot Annie to death?
Oh no. Oh no. We're going in with bashers.
We slap him. Beautiful.
Oh my god!
But I was if he spawns a bunch of Fusiliers and shoots her to death, I am gonna be ecstatic.
The problem is she's on 2 instead of 1, even though she could have been on 1.
I mean, she could have been dead, right? This
Yeah.
could have been her. She could have never had a turn in hyper.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was a potential option. Didn't happen, but you know.
Prepare to be bashed.
Get some.
These odds aren't even great. It's 3-8 to hit a 9.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
I find it nightmarish that Progress to Crab popped into chat right as I was watching a video of a crab doing something really cool.
It's linked I have with others of my own kind. As highly evolved beings, we're
Devolved crab, evolved monkey.
No.
man.
It is return to monkey and progress to crab.
He returned to monkey going forward. It's a loop.
That is monkey brain right there.
Yeah, that is some
You just
serious
can't
monkey
understand it. You just don't understand.
No. I think you're straight wrong. You need to progress to the ultimate evolutionary form.
You
not
see, from a
return to
crab
the kind.
perspective, that could be completely understandable.
Damn, except the crab perspective is the only correct perspective because it's perspective in an ultimate evolutionary form.
Some a crab would say.
I thought Cell was supposed to be the ultimate life form.
It's true. What?
Oh, I was making a joke. I said I thought Cell was supposed to be the ultimate life form.
You're thinking of Shadow the Hedgehog?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Probably.
Except the big plot twist in that fucking game is that Shadow isn't the ultimate life form. It's some weird salamander thing.
Bio Lizard. What a good game.
Listen, that game had the Chow Garden, which makes it the perfect game.
Sonic Adventure 1 had the Chow Garden too. I think I liked that one a little better.
So this game is pretty much wrapped here, right?
Yeah.
Are the kittens getting along, Twistin?
Yeah.
Yeah, not fighting each other.
No, they were they're siblings, so they definitely fight, but at the same time.
I like how much of a good sport Agent Orange is about this.
If we could vote like the MVP of the tournament, I'm gonna vote it's Agent Orange because he's always just so pleasant about it, and like he threatened a unit chain. The absolute legend. So someone here might know this because this is the kind of group of people that would. I just finished watching Invincible. How close is it to the comics? Like, if I liked the show, should I pick up the comics?
Timeline's fucky, but other than that, it's pretty faithful.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, like the finale happens in like issue like 4 or 5.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
there's a lot.
And like
Well,
some of the stuff doesn't quite translate to the show because it was done over a much longer time. Like the Rick storyline in the comics is actually like a series of months.
Oh, okay.
Is it like 120 issues or something?
I don't know. I've got the first 2 omnibuses, and they are thick.
Yeah. Because it started in like 2003?
Yeah, something like that. I like it's pretty faithful to the comic, though.
Okay, cool. Because I really liked it, and like any like weird things I had with the show was honestly it's one of those like I didn't realize how many things were probably based on it, and it came first.
Yeah, it's one of those where like this was kind of a seminal property in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also a lot of deconstructing superheroes going on right now, specifically.
Yeah.
Man, I can't wait till we get the Flex Mentello show.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god. That's actually happening?
Wait, is it actually?
I don't know. I hope.
Oh.
I kind of hope so, but
I hope so. I mean, he's in Doom Patrol, but I
Doom
really
Patrol's
want
so
like
good.
I want a show based off of like that one like Flex Mentallo like run.
yeah, I just finished season 1 of Doom Patrol like earlier this week.
It's such a slow show to get into. It is a grind.
Doom Patrol.
Okay, I adore slow shows though.
Yeah, I mean, it's the payout's well worth it though for that show.
Yeah.
Like it just ages like fine
It's
wine.
It's rough though because it's so long in the first episode. It's kind of like you're like just watch past that. Like the first episode's a little rough.
Yeah.
The first episode, they were definitely trying to figure out what tone they wanted to take and tried for. Exactly how close to Deadpool can we get with Mr. Nobody? Oh, that was a little too close. Pull back, pull back.
Well, they still don't fix Jane either. So. Oh.
I mean, this turn is kind of pointless. You just had to like give up on going in on Annie or just like shoot her from range, right, and commit to that being your next 2 turns.
Yeah.
Although honestly, it is one of the most nuanced depictions of DID I've ever seen in media. Which, not that there's a lot of high bars for that, but
I was about to say, I was like, I mean, that's like, you're kind of giving him like a participation trophy at that point.
That's a hey, you didn't fuck it up, congrats.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
this isn't horribly problematic.
It's only bested by Legion right now, which again, not a high bar, but
Legion's pretty good.
Legion is really good. Says someone who's only watched all of season 1, but season 1 had me staying up all night to watch every episode because I couldn't go to bed after watching any of them.
Also, has anyone finished Falcon and Winter Soldier? Does it get better?
I gave up after like episode 3.
I made it to 2, and it's just like,
I mean, if Kevin wants to be a jerk here, he can just like tech shift and then screen, right?
That's what I assume is going to happen on this turn. That's why I was like, you like strafe shot her twice, right?
Yeah. I would have at least tried to make that like a swat into her. Which is just like strictly better, right? Because you get the better die pool.
Yeah. I was just like, I get the impulse to punch because you've got the power gorge.
Right.
Right. So this is like pure value.
You don't have power gorge until hyper, right?
He has
You do
power
have a
gorge on
punch.
Brawl.
Oh,
Yeah.
The Alpha Punch does still have it. Okay.
That's how they got away with Power Swell, right? Not having reminder text.
Mm-hmm.
God, I forgot how fucking long Strafe is.
Oh, you have a rule? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's why like Annie's card is so full. Because she's got fling and strafe.
Krengen's clock is going.
All right, you beat me to it.
Did it?
I'm in the game. I was just too lazy to type.
So this looks like Kevin's plan is to tech shift. So I don't think Krengen's even going to get a monster kill this game.
Yeah, especially as he's not even fielding the fire kami to get like a cheeky ignite kill.
Yeah.
I keep getting thrown off because from the angle of the stream, the model for Rastavan looks exactly the same as the model for Zybanos because like they're just like weird shaped two pointed green blobs. And I forgot which side we were looking at, and I was like, how does Kevin win this if he's just got Zybanos?
Ultimate weapon, baby. Let's
Also,
go.
man, you know how you got a new pen yesterday and like hit it like way too hard, Brett? That was me today.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're at.
Man, I went to like the weirdest dispensary because it's like I live in the middle of nowhere now, and so it's like this tiny little redneck town that there's like nothing, and it's like in the back of like a water purifying building.
Seems real legit. Definitely not buying drugs out of some guy's like trunk vibes.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. The place was nice, but like they were like, oh yeah, if you want to look at the menu, it's on iPad, and I like walk over and like the iPad doesn't have Wi-Fi and it's like freezing up.
We've got a couple shops up here that do like the tablet thing as their gimmick. I don't know. It always seems kind of like pretentious and dumb to me.
Yeah,
Did Kevin leave enough dice for the tech shift?
He already did the tech shift.
Oh, he already did the tech shift. What would be
I kind of like the
Yeah.
iPad thing a little bit more though than like having to talk to like the equivalent of like beer snobs but for weed. They're like,
Yeah.
oh yes, yes, the finest strains of the. And I'm like, man, I don't care. I used to buy stuff out of the back of some dude's car in a McDonald's parking lot. I'd be like, is this good? And he's like, yeah, and it wasn't.
Of course not.
I mean, at this point, I definitely at least try to get the double strafe shot.
I don't even think you get that before you die. Maybe if you like hug the board edge.
Yeah, I mean, you can stay like basically right where you are and not go into.
Yeah, you won't die from there.
Yeah.
So is it
Nice rate
too on the nose to just start doing pairings now?
That's what I may or may not have been doing.
Because there's not really a reason to not start doing them now.
Also, like, worst case scenario, right? You can just be like, all right, and the same thing we've done a bunch of times when there's been an outstanding match. It's just be like, all right, whoever wins goes into this bracket, right?
Nope.
Hilariously, as soon as you do pairings for one round, you could do winner of loser of for the next round.
I would love a tournament that was scheduled like that.
You can only do it
back
like
to back.
you can only do it one ahead at a time, right? Because you can't predict the next setup, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I mean-
you'd have to like bracket it weirdly.
You could just set it up to where you straight up say game 1, game 2, something like that.
I mean, you can literally build an actual bracket, right?
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
about to say if you do like a bracket with like a winners and a losers bracket where you could literally schedule out the entire tournament.
So the problem with going all the way down there is that you can't strafe into a monster. Only strafe
yeah.
off of them.
Yep. And also, right where he is, he can just get body slammed into the Pantera.
So
Like,
next
he was in a
season-
pretty good spot where he was.
So next season, I say, especially because we might do a tournament with the awful Crush Hour rules, maybe like just one of them, which will make the entire next season kind of weird anyway.
Yeah.
We need to have it where we like literally can like do seeds of like everyone who qualifies for the tournament, like the invitational, so that we can do like a March Madness bracket because that is what I am all about. Like I will throw down actual money betting on that. Like get like a bookie on it, I'm down.
Yeah, I think like if we kind of want to go that route, I mean, you can almost even see it happening here. Like, kind of, a slight concern is that it is shifting more to that competitive, like, that more inclusive kind of event. So I think this kind of just begs having to have that casual event coinciding, right?
Oh yeah, no,
I think
I
that
was
works
just saying
fine.
like
Yeah, like
doing
that
it
works
like
perfect.
I wouldn't say we do it for anything other than like an invitational, but like
Oh, okay. Right,
it
right.
makes sense to do something like that for an well, not like makes sense, but like you could
It
do
would
something
work.
like that for it
Yeah,
would work
yeah,
for like an
yeah.
invitational.
I guess it would be appropriate is the best word to some
Yeah, there
degree,
we
right?
go.
Like, yeah. But yeah, regardless even of doing that, looking at kind of how people are reacting to how this event's going, it almost seems like we kind of want to have that more casual event, I should say.
We need to
Um,
have something going on that isn't just like
The super competitive, because there
yeah.
are people who want this to be a casual game, and right,
yep.
if they keep risking going into just stomps, they're not going to want to keep playing the game.
And I'm almost. I mean, this is going to kind of require a lot of balancing.
I don't think you can throw that many white dice.
Who?
Nope.
Nope.
No.
There was
Did
one too
he
many.
hit even with removing the highest action die?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Um, but I would almost consider like maybe trying to set up some sort of this point system thing with list building and everything, and use that as almost like a strength schedule modifier. Have that way heavier than other aspects, right? It kind of requires a little bit more groundwork, but I think people who are kind of more invested in less of that win loss ratio and kind of doing more janky stuff would be more
So one thing
resistant to that.
someone brought it up, but like doing like an Iron Arena kind of thing, like online. It's just like you just play games against whoever and like
Right. My only problem is like, how do you do support for that? Like,
I don't know, like donations basically.
yeah, you would kind of have to like keep that up, and like I think I'm fine with providing some stuff, but then like it kind of depends on like having. I guess it's more to reach out to the more casual people, right? Not kind of the bolster the already
Yeah, this isn't
the
about
Yeah.
prizes,
set
right?
people.
This is just an
Right, right.
excuse to get a bunch of games against people you wouldn't normally get games against.
Yeah, and I guess you don't want people intimidated to even play in the first place. Still,
Yeah.
right?
I
Yeah.
think
Right.
what we could do, like depending if we get like some prize support, like maybe make it the equivalent of like there's like some random kind of prizes you can get for people, and then you just like I don't know, you can like cash in for like we send you some sort of prize thing if you like get so many games in, like win or lose, like how they do in Iron Arena. Where it's kind of
Right.
like
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know, like it's closer to the equivalent of like I don't know, like a super casual like Magic pre-release or something, where it's like get a bunch of games in with people and like you get some stuff no matter what. Like
Yeah.
nothing huge, obviously.
Yeah, I think that like putting so like the idea is to like casual people like get some experience, get some games against other people. So I think that even like putting any prize support is almost disincentivizing, right? You just like you let this just be like get games in.
Yeah,
Try to
but
keep
I guess
But
you don't want it to be like you have those same experienced people just farming that too, right? And it's
yeah,
like, okay, the only other people who want to play are the experienced people, and I want to play my mono terror source shit and fuck around, right? Like
yeah. No,
that's
no,
why I kind of want to
it's
encourage that too, to some degree,
like
or not exclude it, I should say.
yeah, I would almost just like tell the sharks to back off. Right?
Right, and it's like a weird. That's what I was thinking. Some sort of like way to use that point system to kind of and
I've
skew that to strength schedule to try to
I've got something for like the casual Iron Arena kind of thing, and by this I'm blatantly ripping off what they do at Lock and Load.
which is
You get 1 point for playing a person that you've never played before. That is it. That is what you get a point for if you play a game against someone you have not played a game with at the event, and you trade in the points for things. And we could like, I don't know, maybe have a thing like. I wish we had like. I have like a bunch of them, but not enough because I have like 4 Crush Hour kits. But like the equivalent of like the foil cards or something. If we could like make some easy thing like that, that would be kind of cool. Like Actually, does Mimi have just like a bunch of random extra dice? Like not even
Yeah,
like
Not
here's
full
the
sets, just like a die.
yeah. Like here
yeah.
would be the thing would be like if you get like 10 games against 10 completely different people, you get like a small thing and then like a die.
Yeah, it was more or less just like us having to like to maintain that and like shipping shit out because I already know Mimi does that. She hates doing
No, I
that.
know. Just find someone else to do it, man. Fuck, I'd do it. Mail me a huge box of them. I'll send them to people.
Yeah.
Is that the same box where my Blastic Cutter Abomination is gonna be in?
Dude, I'm down. I am so amped. I'm so amped
What's
to
going
put
on?
so Marin, they're gonna put together like a plastic cutter incorrectly and just kind of like glue it in a pile, and I'm gonna paint it for them.
And a super absorber, because I'm never going to put more than one of those on the table. So I'm going to put both of them from the same set on the same base glued together. Those are the only ones I've determined so far. But I looked at Zava and I was like, I don't want to put this together.
No.
I mean, the trash
is...
bot works perfect for that.
Yeah. Of course.
Oh man,
know,
I
mate.
could use. I have that actual like the metal spray paint that you put on there, and you get realistic rust effects because it's actually metal. So you just dunk it in water, and it literally rusts, and you clear coat it.
My favorite thing is that those are going to be my best painted models and probably my only painted
Only
models for
painted.
a while.
Beautiful.
I'm literally going to show up and my buildings aren't even going to be on bases if they can stand free.
I mean, I've done that with everything. Nothing is on a base if it has the ability to stand free.
Well, half the
That
buildings
includes
don't even come
Belchers.
with bases anymore.
Do they not?
A lot of
No,
buildings don't.
if they have a
Huh.
wide enough base that they can stand free, they've just not been putting bases in.
Yeah, like ISBs and downtown high rises don't come with bases.
Yeah, all mine came with bases.
Oh, wait.
Got
Yeah,
them early, baby.
mine did.
Yeah, it's random.
Oh,
You might have
okay.
gotten like really old ones. I think
Yeah,
they
we have really old
started
ones.
doing it and then they
Yeah.
like stopped because they're
Yep.
like, we don't need to do that.
Well, I think
Okay.
that was actually like a mispack, right? Where like a couple of them didn't have
Yeah, they
have
put out a
them.
message about it too on Facebook a while ago.
Oh, did they? I don't know. I ordered 4 high rises and they had 0 bases.
I mean, this was like
I saw a post like the other day that was like, hey, I got a building without any bases. Like, is that normal? And someone was like, yeah, no, like if it's wide enough, they just haven't been putting bases in.
yeah,
And
it was
also
probably
there
since, like,
is
December or something.
yeah, there is an option there is like a base pack, right, that you can buy as well. If you want to base your buildings, you can buy a bunch of bases.
Yeah, they probably did that because they want people to fucking buy that thing.
No, they've had that base pack for a long time.
Yeah, they've had that since the game started.
Yep.
Oh my god, Kevin, stop BMing and just rolling your precision strike like an
That
asshole.
was a miss that he had to precision strike.
Oh,
I think
holy shit!
Yeah, that doesn't hit. You're in hyper, dude. That actually came up last night in my game, where Ragnar rolled 1 less than my defense and had to precision strike for the kill.
Did it actually get the kill?
Oh, we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, he turned an 8 into a 9 on a blast attack with Incinerus.
Nice. And you
Didn't beat
still
you,
beat
did
him. No, Tech's 3-1.
Okay, good. Good. Tech, I need you to boost up my strength of schedule here. I've got like who all have I played? Oh yeah, actually. I guess it was just the paradigm that I had that was like rough.
Yeah, no, like I am the one who is technically in the running for qualifying, who is in the worst spot by a large margin.
Yeah, well, blame Boxy.
Yeah, playing me and I ran out.
He beat me down and then disappeared.
Who was that masked man?
Who was that?
Just when the world needed him most.
So Krengen gets the kill here, right?
Should.
Should, yeah.
Like, absolute worst, he can take the range 5 4 boost shot to try to kill
Exactly.
her. It's not a monster turn right now. So he's got like, but Kevin's all out of monster dice. So
So he has priority, but he could always just spawn another. Does Rush spawn still have strafe?
Yep.
Rossmon still has strafe, and it doesn't matter because it's still a range 5 gun.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
And she's at 1 health. Like,
So yeah, he just does everything he can to grab all the power he can, and
I mean, he's
best
at
that
5.
Suspectum can do is pop out another air avatar.
He also should have power sunk on that missed body slam because he was in hyper for it, right? Or no, because it's not the first time.
oh, that's dumb as fuck. I hate that.
Technically correct.
Yeah, because it wouldn't trigger if the first time put him into hyper. Miserable. Fuck Hyper Rastavan. All my homies hate Hyper Rastavan.
So stupid. Oh my god.
Busted monster.
He has to get in the next dynamic update, I would think. I think he is on a short list for Protector.
We have been saying that for a lot of monsters.
Well, we're hoping that the second dynamic update is a bit more expansive, right? The first one was very experimental. The second one, we can be like, well, some of these monsters just need like a slight tune-up and barely need playtesting, and some of these monsters need to be reworked.
Real talk, drop a health from Hyper Rastavan and give him rapid fire.
Make him a 5/5 with rapid fire.
So make all of the Draken monsters 10 health.
Yeah, why not?
Yes,
plus 2 health
dragons.
to
Those notoriously difficult things to kill.
Instead of
plus 2 health and just call it a day. That's it.
just instead of
Just make him
dropping a
barrel full
health,
of play.
can we move a health from him to Rogzor?
That's it.
Okay,
Roger
well,
doesn't need 10.
while we're adjusting stuff by like doing health, how much health can we add to Leviathan before he's like
I was just
too
about
good?
to say, can we add 3 more health to Leviathan?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
17 health feels right.
How about we just like Leviathan needs Bulwark turned into something good.
More
And
plus
an
one
extra
defense for
defense.
crabs at all times.
Yeah, also King Tide just needs to like continue across both
Exist.
sides.
Yeah, King Tide and Hyper and Bulwark needs to be a good ability, and like, there's no reason he needs to be a 7/8 or a 5/6, right? With his speeds.
King Tide should make all crabs invulnerable to all damage. Perpetually.
I mean, steel shell crabs are effectively already invulnerable. It's like you can't kill one on
Yeah,
unit
but now we
turn.
should make them literally invulnerable.
I don't even know if I even attack into crabs. Like, it's not worth it. They don't die.
Yeah, no, we're gonna change King Tide to say crabs can't be damaged by attacks. This ability is in effect even if Leviathan isn't in the current game.
That's a hell of a king tide.
I'm on board.
Can we,
You know-
can we give Leviathan ability that gives crabs frontline brawler? Make it a new rule.
Frontline brawler.
Frontline brawler.
If this unit is closer to an opponent's spawn zone than any of your other units, it gains +1 boost.
If
That's
the
pro-
unit is on the
No, it
right
gets
side of the
plus 1
model,
white.
if the unit's on the right side of the model, it gets an extra blue die and the big claw.
Yeah, we're adding facing rules to
You
Monpoc.
do face. Gets -1 blue on the left side.
It is 2 blue base, but can only ever roll 3 or 1.
So when you oh my god, that'd be so horrible. Can we also
Those
just go straight
stalkers
to
aren't
Monpoc?
gonna do fucking anything, but okay, buddy.
Depends what they're
probably
punching.
Yeah, they're probably going for the air commies.
Oh, well, one of them is not getting the bonus outrider die then, but okay.
Yeah, I would flip them around so that you're rolling 3 blue on each.
No, because you'll only roll 2 blue on one of them, no matter how you divvy it up.
Oh no!
So, is Rasputin dead yet?
Nope.
No.
No,
Nope.
Annie's going down before Rastaban is.
Oh.
Kevin missed an attack, and also, like, Annie's still going down before Rastaban is.
Yeah, there was no world in which Annie didn't die before Rastaban.
No.
And, like, to be fair, what happened here was a 90 missed on on the first, like, monster
Yeah,
attack.
because if that one hits, the second one is still like pretty safe, and that's Zybanos dead in the first 2 monster turns. Right? Like
Yeah.
we're playing a much different game at this point.
Yeah, Krengen got screwed by dice. Okay, that was the Berserker. I was gonna be like, hey, Stalkers don't get 2 whites. Okay.
No, he missed both the stalker attacks.
Got both the Berserker attacks though.
Honestly, I would have just combined the Stalkers on the one that's on the power zone.
Me too.
I'll take 2 and 5 to clear a 2-cost unit off of an actual zone that's also screening over 2 a 1/3 and a 1/2 to clear def 3 units. Yikes. Even the 1/3 I don't like that much.
So Rastaban hops down into the pocket in between the 2 Fusiliers and shoots Annie to death, and then Zybanos has to deal 3 to himself to align.
I mean, you could also like step a couple times and go stand above. Right?
Right.
Blocked by the air avatar and your Stalker and his Fusilier.
As weird as it is, I don't think Krengen is totally out of it yet.
No, you have to play like real careful, real smart, but there is a way to come back in this situation. Just because Zybanos is a pedestrian and there is so much fire.
Yeah, Zybanos is a pedestrian. You're a flyer, and there's so much fire. And like, hey, this power word strafe is going to get him 4 reds back, right? Because he's going to kill Annie and also clear an air avatar.
Yep.
Also, knowing Kevin, I do not go near his unit base if I'm already losing the health trade.
Hold on, Fusiliers. You're just begging for a defense or I get thrown down and shot to death. Man, that unit disparity is pretty rough.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, Krengen was leaning very heavily into the power swell.
Which, like, is how you play Rastavan, but... Oof.
Well, we talked about this earlier. This is the lack of 2 Berserkers, right? Like, you play this pairing in the next event, drop a clicker in there, and, like, you would have ripped Kevin's power base apart every single turn.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Blitz one up, tag the other one up. You've cleared out, like, a double and a power zone on both sides, plus whatever the clicker shot.
Yeah, you just, like, you murder the world at that point, right?
And that's 9 power dice. Did you just say 15?
13, but still.
Yeah, see, this is what Kevin relies on, is like his power base not getting touched. Because if his power base starts getting dismantled, he doesn't have a recovery. But if it doesn't, he snowballs like this.
Yeah.
Oh, see, to me, it seems like he relies on his opponent's missing 90s.
That too.
No, he's pretty good at honestly preventing you from just absolutely wrecking his power base. And yeah, that's the way he's always beaten me. It's just he keeps me from destroying his power base.
To be fair, I did give him a lesson back when Glob was good by walking Glob all the way down Carnage and blowing up the double. So I think he's just trying to avoid that from ever happening again.
Could be.
You want to move first.
Purple crystal turned out real good on White de Jaune.
It did.
Yeah. Pops.
Krengen, you want to move first. You want to just be standing literally anywhere than where you're standing right now.
Free will's a myth, religion is a joke. We are all pawns controlled by something greater. Me.
Is that what crabs think whenever they're told to move?
God.
I'm part of something greater. This is my purpose. Stand on this point. Never move.
Free will is a myth, religion is a joke. We're all pawns of something greater. Memes, the DNA of the soul.
Memes are the viral DNA of the soul.
Did any of y'all ever play Revenge?
Play what?
Revenge.
No, I knew we were going Metal Gear Solid, and I decided not to tell you that your memes ended here.
Fair enough.
So I didn't actually hear what game you said, but from context of Marin's response, I think I can guess.
There's enough breadcloth. You can follow those ones, Twisted.
I think so. I feel pretty confident in knowing what you were talking about now. And no, I never played it.
Absolute masterpiece.
Sebastian Lander for the win. I can't.
Unrelated. What's in cover doing in game 2 over there?
Just chilling.
Just chilling.
Okay. Just
Finish his
curious.
game. Just chilling.
He went AFK, don't worry about it.
Just waiting for next game.
So does anyone know, like, for frame of reference, and I'm gonna start out by saying the reason why is because I'm trying to make like Tex like Maggie as like a model out of as much Privateer Press stuff as I can so I can take it to a tournament. Because like, man, that model is awful, the official one. But how big is CyberCon compared to like Warjack? Because he's tiny, right?
Yeah, he's a little guy.
I'm trying to figure out how small I can make a model and still have it like kind of be okay.
Is the restriction just Privateer Press pieces?
By volume, it has to be half. So I guess technically I could melt down all of these stupid steelheads I have and recast them. And then have like a video of myself doing it so I can show it to Travis when he's like, that's not...
Could you, so, you know, if melting it down doesn't work, right, can you just get a Dremel and just Dremel into the shape of hammers? And just do it that way too?
Well, the problem is I have to like get a model for like the girl sitting up. The hammer is going to be easy because I'm just going to
I
make
thought you were
that
just
out
trying
of
to make
heads.
the smallest possible model of Maggie
No.
that's not like dog shit looking.
No, I'm trying to figure out how small I can like successfully go because
okay.
I mean like there are no female models that are
I know,
slightly bigger.
I know a good one. The Silas one. The Wijnell, the mini crate one.
Oh God, yeah, if I can find that.
Right? That would be perfect.
That
right?
would be
yeah.
That would be like way too tiny though, right?
Yeah, but that would be real small.
But like
I was thinking using like half of Zadaroth. The Infernal Master. It's like female coded.
Is that the
It's the one that has the squid holding the book.
Yeah, the squid guy. Right. That model's not really that big either.
Yeah, but it's the biggest feminine model that like is in the entire line.
Yeah,
I guess with the exception of that like the cat extreme. Oh, well, I was gonna say the the cat Extreme Warpwolf. It was like supposed to be a girl, and then Matt Wilson was like, Warpwolves are all male, and so they had to like change it.
Wait,
Wow.
which one is that?
The Extreme Feral Warpwolf.
Oh yeah, that thing looks like horrendous.
Uh,
That thing is so stretched and weird looking.
I may have seen original concept art, but it definitely doesn't exist, so I didn't. Or well, not like concept art, but like a sketch kind of idea,
Right.
and it was it may have theoretically been female, and Matt Wilson may have theoretically said that all werewolves are male, and then they had to change it.
God, that model does not look good. Why is its? I didn't realize how giant its head is.
Okay.
I mean,
so...
Warpwolves have really big heads, just as a rule, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
look at.
Wouldn't
look at
know. Never
Hack.
played Warma Hordes.
He got a real big head. He got like a Rastafan head going on.
there's got to be like something I can use.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, the Silas one's the only one I could think of like right off the top of my head that has that same position, like to a
Yes.
T.
Could you use Titanica?
Huh? Actually, I don't know why that didn't occur to me.
Yeah, I was like, why not just repurpose another monster?
I didn't want to do that because like it would be, I guess, because I would have to put more work into it pretty much to make it so it like didn't look like Titanica.
Yeah, I get that. But like that might be the trick for you.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Did he just save himself? No, because he can go into the double fire for the death. Never mind.
Or just down to the
Yeah.
Mount Zero.
No, he's offline for the Mount Terra.
No,
No,
it's
the
the
other
other
Mount.
Mount
Kevin's Mount Terra.
Kevin's,
Yeah, because Kevin's
yeah.
power got for full because look at this fucking board.
Right.
So Banner's kind of busted.
Nerfed in the next DU.
Draken
To be
OP
fair, Zybanus
confirmed.
has to go down to 5 or 4 to make this work.
Or 5.
No,
yeah, I guess.
no, 5 because you can go around that way,
Yeah.
which puts him in hyper and gives him troubleshoot.
Yippee! Oh, 7-5. You can throw all your whites. Come on, do it.
Wonder if
Do
there's
it
a
and miss.
Judgment model that's like close because everyone's selling theirs now.
Judgment's where I would go, and I'm sure there's like a lady model where you just have to do like a little bit of reposing.
And those models are cheap now because you guys all heard about that.
Did they close the game?
No,
right? They
what
shuttered
happened?
it?
They didn't close the game. They did one step worse. They shuttered version 1 and then they're like making version 2 and it's hex based on a smaller scale. So everything that the people who liked the game didn't want.
What game is this?
Judgment. It was basically like they took the rules for War Machine and then turned it into Dota, kind of.
Oh, wait.
Hmm.
I thought I just
model-
saw someone on YouTube do it.
The models are really cool. They're at like 54mm scale.
Right, game's over. Where's pairings?
Yeah,
Oh, it's already over.
Yeah,
at
it's
least
done.
the pairings.
Oh yeah, Play on Tabletop did a thing with it, all the hex based. Is that the new?
That's the new one, yeah. That like it basically kind of killed the game because they had like a pretty fervent player base that is like, we don't want to play this now.
Oh yeah, I think they may have gotten it because they're a pretty big channel, and I guess they're promoting the new the new setup there. Huh. Well. Alright, so confirmed he has 5 remaining health.
Mm-hmm.
5 health and 11 minutes on each clock.
Have any of you played Rum and Bones?
I've heard of it.
That's like the pirate MOBA by Simon, right?
Yeah, Rum and Bones.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a board game that's themed around MOBAs and pirates.
I played that once. It was really cool, and I was like, I don't want to pay what I would need to own this.
Fair enough.
Me, every time I look at all of the prestige board games that are coming out, I'm just like, why?
Don't you have
Yeah.
Cthulhu?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I was asking because one of my friends recently bought it, so
And
I
you know
don't have
what?
to pay
The
for it.
LGS that opened in my mall in place of a Banana Republic, which is the best sentence I've ever said in my life, has Gloomhaven, and I'm like, I'll wait until you have Frosthaven because that actually has good writing.
Yeah, it does.
Amazing what happens when you hire a sensitivity writer.
I actually
Reader.
have I have that on Kickstarter coming in. So, yay.
So Nick, how about them pairing?
I'm going. Going.
I'm
Well,
waiting for that
go
stream to come up.
faster. Yeah,
Going.
where's the live stream of this? I guess I can go ahead and end the OBS of this, huh?